Hello students, welcome to part 4 of the video of chapter number 14, Substances in Common Use for Standard 9th. This is an atom of aluminium. It's a normal atom. It contains a nucleus in the center and the nucleus contains positively charged protons and neutrally charged neutrons. And you will find the negatively charged electrons are orbiting around the nucleus. So, since this is a normal atom, it is a stable atom. That is, the nucleus does not give out any radiations or the nucleus does not show any kind of reactions. But in certain cases, we find that the nucleus becomes unstable and start emitting out radiations. So there are certain conditions for a nucleus to become unstable and to emit radiations. Inside the nucleus, the protons and the neutrons are binded together because there is some binding force, there is some attractive force which keeps these protons and neutrons together. Otherwise, see, protons are positively charged, so they should actually repel each other. But the protons do not repel each other. In fact, they are binded to each other by this strong invisible force. So this attractive force which binds the protons and the neutrons together is the nuclear force. But under certain conditions, there is imbalance of forces which act on protons and neutrons, and it is at that time the nucleus becomes unstable and starts emitting out radiations. Now there are certain conditions for the stability of the atoms to be disturbed. So what are those conditions? If the proton number is greater than 83, in that case the nucleus becomes unstable and starts emitting radiations. So what happens if the proton number is greater than 83? If the proton number becomes greater than 83, then the repulsive forces between the protons becomes larger than the nuclear binding force which holds the protons and the neutrons together. And it is because of this reason that the nucleus becomes unstable. Does it mean that if there are atoms having atomic number less than 83, they are stable? No, not at all. In most of the conditions, these atoms are stable, but there are conditions where if the atomic number is less than 83, the atom can be unstable. So what are those conditions? When the proton number is greater than the neutron number, even then the nucleus becomes unstable. If the proton number is much less than the neutron number, even then the nucleus becomes unstable. But if the proton number is somewhat less than or equal to the neutron number, then you will find that the nucleus becomes stable or the nucleus remains stable. So there are conditions when the nucleus becomes unstable. And what are the conditions? If the proton number is greater than 83, then the nucleus becomes unstable. And if the proton number is less than or equal to 83, then what are the conditions? The proton number has to be greater than the neutron number, or the proton number has to be much less than the neutron number. Then in that case, the nucleus becomes unstable and starts emitting radiations. So there are some substances with high atomic number greater than 83. And these substances have the property of spontaneously emitting out high energy radiations which are invisible. We cannot see these radiations, but they are highly penetrating. They can penetrate our skin, they can penetrate paper, they can penetrate metals. So these are highly penetrating energy radiations. And these substances with high atomic number, such as uranium, thorium, radium, which have the property of spontaneously emitting invisible, highly penetrating, high energy radiations, is called as radioactivity. And substance having this property of radioactivity are called as radioactive substances. Some of the examples of radioactive substances are uranium with atomic mass number 235. So we read it as uranium 235, radium 228, carbon 14. Phenomenon of radioactivity was discovered by chance, and this was done by a French scientist by the name Henri Becquerel. Henri Becquerel was studying a compound called as pitchblende, which is a compound of uranium. And in the previous slide, we have already seen that uranium is a radioactive substance. But Henri Becquerel did not know about uranium as a radioactive substance at that time. Henri Becquerel had kept some unused photographic plates in a cardboard box, and this cardboard box was kept in a drawer. A key was lying on the box. He left these uranium compounds over the cardboard box. Now, when Henri Becquerel washed the photographic plates after a few days, he found that the plates were cloudy and the photographic plates showed the shape of the key. As this incident occurred in the dark, Henri Becquerel inferred that the uranium compounds, that is the pitchblende which was kept, might be emitting some radiations, some rays like the X-rays, which could have penetrated the substances. So these rays in those days were called as the Becquerel rays. After a few days, it was Madame Marie Curie who discovered similar properties, but by the study of compounds of thorium. In 1889, Rutherford discovered that the radiations emitted by radium were of two types, and these radiations which were emitted from radium were called as the alpha radiations and the beta radiations. So Ernest Rutherford discovered these two types of radiations which are emitted from a radioactive substance. They are the alpha radiations and the beta radiations. In Greek letter, alpha is denoted in this way and beta is written like this in Greek letters. Now there is another kind of radiation which is emitted from the radioactive substance. So the third radiation emitted from the radioactive substances is called as the gamma radiations, and the gamma radiations were discovered by Villiard. So we can say that a radioactive substance emits three types of radiations. They are the alpha radiations, the beta radiations, and the gamma radiations. Further, Rutherford and Villiard studied these radiations which are emitted by the radioactive substances. Let us see an experiment which demonstrates the process of radioactivity. This is a lead block. The lead block contains a radioactive substance. These are two oppositely charged plates which create an electric field, and this is a photographic plate. When the radioactive substance was placed in the lead block, it emitted radiations. The radiations were allowed to pass through these two oppositely charged plates which created an electric field. And when the photographic plate was kept in the path, it was found that the radiations were divided into three types. You can see the radiation has bifurcated into three different types of radiations. One is the alpha radiations, the beta radiations, and the gamma radiations. It was found that one type of radiation deviated slightly towards the negatively charged plate. These radiations which deviated slightly towards the negatively charged plate were called as the alpha rays or the alpha radiations. The second type of radiations deviated substantially towards the positively charged plate, that is to a greater extent towards the positively charged plate, and these were called as the beta radiations. However, there were type of radiations which did not deviate at all towards any of the plate, and these radiations which did not deviate at all in the electric field were called as gamma radiations. So here you can see the actual picture of what happens when the radiations are passed through an electric field from a radioactive substance. So these radiations which are deviated towards a negatively charged plate are the alpha radiations. The radiations which are deviated towards a positively charged plate are the beta radiations. And those radiations which do not get deviated at all in the electric field are called as the gamma radiations. Once again, the rays deviated towards a negatively charged plate are alpha rays. The rays deviated towards a positively charged plate are beta rays. And the rays which do not get deviated at all are gamma rays.